Today, I saw the worst video I have ever seen in my entire life. Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you are having a fantastic weekend so far. I don't think I've actually talked about this openly on my channel before, but when I was a teenager, I knew that I wanted to get into law enforcement, and I knew there was going to be graphic things that I would have to see, experience. So in order to make an attempt to desensitize myself to gore and to nastiness, I used to watch like gory videos. And I know that sounds weird, but the thought process behind it was the fact that, hey, if I see it now, when I actually experience it, it won't be as big of a deal or maybe a shock. So I was trying to desensitize myself from graphic imagery, basically. And throughout the years, I have seen some pretty nasty stuff at my job. Shotgun suicides, child abuse, elder abuse, animal abuse, you name it, I've pretty much seen it at this point. What I was not prepared for in all my years of what I've experienced and what I've seen is watching an active shooter kill people from their perspective. So getting a bird's eye view of what it's like during an active shooting from the shooter's perspective. 49 people were slaughtered recently in New Zealand. This was just a couple of days ago. They were viciously executed by a white supremacist named Brenton Tarrant. And this guy is from Australia. And this guy wrote an 87-page manifesto explaining exactly why he decided to carry out this terrorist attack. He literally explains pretty much every question. He answers every question that you could possibly imagine somebody asking him. Maybe it's during a police interview or whatever. He released this manifesto, basically like a Q&A session. For obvious reasons, very obvious reasons, I'm not going to show any footage from this shooting. I'm sure YouTube will take my account down in a second if I actually show any of this footage. And I thought about posting a link to the manifesto for you guys to read, but I'm not even gonna do that. And the reason I don't wanna show either one of these is, again, number one, I don't want my account shut down. But number two, this guy released this because he wants people to see it. And I don't wanna provide him that satisfaction of sharing that with the public. That's one of the very frustrating parts about being a YouTuber is I want to share information with you guys. That's the whole point of my channel, is to kind of educate you guys and sprinkle in a little bullshit humor here and there. But there are certain times where I don't want to share things because that's exactly what these people want. And I don't want to give them that gratification. And that sounds hypocritical because I know I'm doing a video about it, but I'm doing a video from an educational standpoint, not to try to glorify this jackass. But basically the story is this guy was targeting Muslims at mosques. And like I told you guys, I have seen a lot of messed up things, whether it's video or in person, but this is hands down the most chilling 5-minute video I've ever seen. Now, keep in mind, I've seen Mexican cartel beheadings, I've seen people jump off of buildings to their death, any number of things you can imagine, ISIS videos, whatever. But I have never seen anything like this before. There's not much that shocks me, is what I'm trying to say. There's not much that shocks me anymore visually. But I stayed glued to this 5-minute video the entire time it played. So the shooter was actually wearing a GoPro or some sort of camera on his head. It wasn't just a body cam, so anywhere he looked, you were seeing exactly what he was seeing. And the best way I know how to describe the way this video looked was almost like it was like a real life version of like Call of Duty plus Grand Theft Auto, if you can imagine the two mixed together. And I'm not saying that to be humorous. There's nothing funny about this situation at all. That's just the best way I know how to describe what this video looked like. It looked like a video that like Digital Corridor would do, right? I was waiting for like special effects. So basically this video starts out with this guy, he's already got the camera on his head, you never see his face, and he's in this small silver car. He gets out of this car, and it's obvious when he gets out that he's backed into this little alleyway. He goes to the back, he pulls a gun out of the trunk, closes it. No, actually, I think he left it open. But then he walks and he just casually makes a right turn and he starts walking down the sidewalk. He takes about 20 steps and then he turns right again, which there's like a fence, but it's open. And he walks into that fence. And you see him coming up to a building. He looks at a car. There's a door that's open. He continues walking up to the front, and there's people standing in the doorway. And out of nowhere, you just see the rifle come up. And for like, It's up for like a second or two, and then he just starts firing. And you see people drop. He goes into the building. There's a guy that, like, he turns down, he sees a room, and there's a guy running. He pops around at him, keeps walking. There's another guy you see like cross over the hall. This guy had practice shooting. There was no doubt. This guy had some sort of either training or maybe self-taught at the range. I don't know what it was. But you see some guy like quickly dart across the hallway, and he takes him down just in a split second. So he goes to the back room, and it's this huge room. And when he comes in, on either side, on the very far side of the walls, there's two huge groups of people that are huddled together in a corner. There's one on this side and there's one on this side. And this dude turns to the right first and just unloads into this crowd. And as he's shooting, he actually looks to the other side to see if anybody's trying to get away. And then he turns to the other side and starts shooting into that crowd. This was beyond chilling to see this, because you're literally watching multiple people lose their life at the same time. And their last moments of just fear and terror just wiped away. They become non-existent. They, you know, those of you that are religious, you know, maybe their souls went somewhere else, whatever. But to see people with fear just become lifeless and just expressionless, it's really something that's so hard to put into words. And as much as I would like to show you guys kind of this event, at the same time, I feel this weird need to kind of protect you guys. Like, even if YouTube allowed me to post this video or to incorporate it into mine, I'm not sure I'd even want to share it, because I don't want people to have to see the things that I see. I see those things for a reason. I see them because I signed up for this. I signed up for this lifestyle of being a cop, of having to deal with this gruesome shit that most people can't handle seeing. So I don't think I would even share it with you guys if I could. Moving on, this guy goes back into the hallway. He reloads. There's actually a guy that tries to run out as he's going into the hallway. I don't know if he was trying to attack the shooter or if he was just trying to escape, but either way, they like bumped into each other in the hallway. The shooter actually fell down, and he shoots this guy, and then he stands up and he shoots him again. So he reloads. He goes back into that big room and starts shooting into the crowd again. This time a little bit more methodically. So long story short, he goes back outside. He goes to the sidewalk. He sees people down the way and starts shooting at them. Goes to an alleyway on the other side, starts shooting at people down there. Then he goes back into the building, and this was the final time, if I remember correctly. He goes back into that back room a third time, and he just slowly walks up and starts shooting everybody in the head, one by one. I don't know if he was just trying to make sure that everybody he shot was dead, making sure that there's nobody laying in this pile that's pretending to be dead, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what his reasoning was, and I have not read the whole 87-page manifesto. I've read little snippets of it here and there. I'm being very careful how I word this. On an intellectual level, I'm trying to be careful how I word this. This guy was not stupid. This was an intelligent, well-versed individual that wrote this manifesto. I do not agree with his views at all. Let me put that out there. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying as me agreeing with anything that he has to say. But he wasn't stupid either. The crazy part to me in the very little bit that I read in this manifesto, how brainwashed this guy was. He was fighting for a cause that he strongly believed in. He really thought he was doing the world a favor by going in and just mowing down a bunch of innocent people. Now, of course, in his mind, he feels like he's taking out, you know, the world's garbage or whatever he put it, like however he put it, but he really thought he was doing a good thing. And that's what human beings are, the ugliest and the meanest creatures on this planet. We do more to destroy the planet and each other than any other animal on this earth. And it's really sad. It's really sad to see that we can be so mean to each other. And anyway, at the end of this video, he ends up walking back outside, down the sidewalk. Keep in mind, during this whole video, or at least the beginning part, I don't remember the whole thing, but there was like this weird ambient patriotic drum roll type music going on in the background. And it was really creepy. It was very creepy. But anyway, he walks down the sidewalk and gets back in his car like nothing ever happened, and then the video ends. I think overall it just really amazes me that humans can be so nasty to each other and over stuff that doesn't even matter, over religion, over race, stupid shit. It's 2019, man. Like, I thought that by now we would be past simple-minded shit. And I'm not calling religion simple-minded. I'm just saying people killing each other over religion is simple-minded. I'm sorry. If that I will say. I really wish that we could just come to a point where we can just get along with each other and understand that different people are going to have different beliefs. That's the way it works. But I think we should stop forcing our beliefs on other people, because that's when the friction starts. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. I was actually really excited about doing this video. I had to be very careful how I word things just because, again, I don't want YouTube flagging my account, which is why I'm not showing any videos. But I thought it was important to talk about this event and kind of tell you guys a little bit about it, because I had never seen anything like that in my 11 years of law enforcement. So either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys very, very soon.